I am the Contrarian 357. I'll say this, I've said this once, I'll say it again, I'll keep saying it. Obama is a treasonous, seditious, communist piece of crap. Don't tell me he ain't no communist. Look, the man is an adult, but I have to say, I have a small slither amount of sympathy for him. In this respect, he's been groomed since a child to be the way that he is right now. He's been groomed to be a far left revolutionary. His mama was a far leftist. His daddy, his real daddy, Frank Marshall Davis, was a card-carrying communist. Straight up commie, all right? But look, where are we right now? After the election, Obama decided to stay in D.C. Now, the talk is he wanted to stay in D.C. because his daughter's still in school. He didn't want to just uproot her like that. You'd think he would go back to Chicago and pretend that he cared about the black people of Chicago, but he stayed in D.C. Got a home in D.C. and he's got a new home there. His home acts as a nerve center to carry out his subversive activities. And also, his dominatrix, the actor from the Planet of the Apes movies, Valerie Jarrett, she's moved in to help assist. He's still he still wants to fundamentally transform America. Remember that? I mean, he's being a persistent communist. I mean, what can you say? Now, we all know what Trump stands for, right? Americanism, not globalism, will be our credo. Economic liberty, individual liberty, enforce our immigration laws, so on and so forth. Now, Donald Trump, he's not playing by the rules. He's throwing a monkey wrench into the globalist program. Now, here's where the globalist puppet Obama comes in. The coup began immediately, but the calls to delegitimize Trump came months before. Now, here's where the Trump-Putin collusion narrative comes in. In June 2016, Obama's FBI went to the FISA court, FISA, that'll be the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court. They went to this court, the FBI, to draw a warrant in the suspicion that Trump had ties to Russian banks. Now, this request was denied, which is unusual because, let me put this in perspective. From 1979 to 2015, only the thousands upon thousands of warrants that have warrants requests, that have come to this court. Only 12 before this request had been denied. So that tells you something. Anyway, they wanted to focus squarely on Trump and some of his associates for allegedly having irregular contacts with Russian officials. Like I said, this request was denied. The FBI was asked to narrow their scope. Now, in October 2016, they went to redraw for this warrant, and this time they just asked to investigate U.S. persons with irregular contacts with Russian officials and the equipment, the phones and his server in Trump Tower. That request was granted. Now, here's the thing. According to FBI sources, the servers that were allegedly linked to Russian banks had no criminal intent. So you know what? The FBI had no business drawing that warrant, and that judge had no business granting that warrant. And to top that off, your Lord and Savior, Barack Obama, allowed the NSA to take the global personal communications that they intercepted and share that intel with the 16 other intelligence agencies. Now, Obama was able to do this because he allowed that particular intel to be of a lower classification. and that was shared amongst these 16 other agencies. Now, what does this mean? Shit gonna get leaked to the media. It was intentional, by the way. Now, Trump is elected and the witch hunt begins immediately. And what's so sad about all of this, Obama and his cronies aren't doing this on any ethical or moral grounds. They're doing this strictly for political conquest and control. Obama's a communist. Obama, that son of a bitch, he's using police state tactics and Soviet tactics to get his mission done. For two reasons. One, to mend his tattered, pathetic legacy as president. Number two, because he takes globalists' dick up his bodily orifices. Because he's a queer.
Disgraceful that the intelligence agencies allowed any information that turned out to be so false and fake out. I think it's a disgrace.
I am satisfied that President Trump was never wiretapped by former President Obama. It's a terrible thing for him to say. He ought to apologize to the American public. He ought to apologize to President Obama.
He should apologize not only to President Obama, but to the American people.
He probably should apologize, I think, to the President Obama.
And welcome back to Hannity. We are following major breaking news tonight. The Washington Post first reporting tonight, Fox News confirming the Clinton and the DNC. They, after lying for a year, helped finance the research for that fake news anti-Trump dossier.
I'm going to bring back a thick stream of jobs back in this country. The biggest, strongest, steadiest stream you've ever seen. This country will be literally showered with jobs. Because I'm the major whiz at jobs. This will be a golden opportunity for me as president to make a big splash.
And then we have a senior agent assigned to investigate Secretary Clinton's email, help draft the exoneration letter. Well, we changed the language from grossly negligent to extremely careless. Interviewed Secretary Clinton in an interview I've never seen, and I doubt you have either in your career as a prosecutor. Interviewed Michael Flynn, was actively involved in the investigation into the Trump campaign before the Inspector General found his text. So this agent related to Secretary Clinton and President Trump sent pro-Clinton texts, anti-Trump texts to his paramour in response to being told maybe he is where he is to protect the country from that menace, Donald Trump. He said, I can protect our country at many levels. And then he said Hillary Clinton should win 100 million to nothing. But he wasn't content to just disparage Donald Trump. He had to disparage Donald Trump's family. This is what he said, Mr. Deputy Attorney General. He said the douchebags are about to come out. He's talking about our First Lady and children, this conflict of interest-free special agent of the FBI. And then if that's not enough, he says Trump is an effing idiot. What the F just happened to our country? This is the same man that said he would save our country. What happens when people who are supposed to cure the conflict of interest have even greater conflicts of interest than those they replace?
The Russia thing is just a big nothing burger.
Then why is CNN constantly like Russia this, Russia that?
Because it's ratings.
Honestly, you think the whole Russia is just like bullshit.
Could be bullshit. It's mostly bullshit right now. Like, we don't have any big giant proof. I just feel like they don't really have it, but they want to keep digging.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think the president is probably right to say, like, look, you are witch hunting me.